everyone. How was your day? John and I had a great lunch at Chili's today. We got to order out and sit in the parking lot and eat. Something that both of us hate to do, eat in the car. But it was very hot, it was very good, and they were efficient, so it was nice. So I'm back tonight. I know it's a little late. It's been kind of a busy day, but I'm making chicken cordon bleu. And I want you to watch me because I have had chicken cordon bleu so many times over the years in restaurants and stuff. And so I've really worked on trying to get it to come out the way that I like it and also to make a good sauce to go with it. So I've got everything here. So just take a few minutes, check it out, and see what you think. Okay, first of all, if you buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts, you need to take a meat tenderizer, this thing, okay? And you need to put it between cellophane and pound them down so they're really thin, okay? And that's what I've done. Now sometimes you get chicken and you don't know what the shape's gonna end up like, you know, after you get it out of the package and pound it down. Sometimes you might have it completely in one good piece, sometimes like this one, it might thin out toward the end. So what you need to do when that happens, it's not always gonna be perfect. I've made it before where, you know, once I start putting it together, this happens, it's thinner at one end, it's not even or whatever, and I have to use a lot of toothpicks. And that's no problem because you can always take them out before you serve. But once in a while, very rarely do I get a piece of chicken that I can just roll it up and not use any toothpicks. It's happened maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times that I've ever made it, okay? So to start with, you want to salt and pepper both sides of your chicken, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to dip it into an egg sauce. And that all this is 1 egg with about 2 tablespoons of milk. And that just makes it moist for the cooking part, okay? After that, you're gonna take this piece and you're gonna dredge it in flour, which has also had salt and pepper added to it, okay? So here's this. And it'll be interesting because every time I make it, I never know how difficult or how easy, mostly difficult, it is going to be to roll it up, okay? So I've got in my frying pan on the stove, I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter because that combination is what's going to give you the real nice golden brown that you want on this, okay? So here it is, okay? So here's the chicken. It's been dredged in flour. Next, you're going to take, and you can use any kind of ham you want. I believe this is smoked ham. And I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it on the thickest part of the breast, okay? And then I'm gonna take a piece of baby Swiss cheese. You can use regular Swiss and slice it if you like, okay? On the top. But I'm gonna start at the small end rolling. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna start at the larger end because I want everything to meet up, okay? So here we go. We're rolling it just like so. We've got the ham inside. Ham and Swiss cheese are key to the cordon bleu. And it is a messy job, but hey, somebody's got to do it. And believe me, it's so worth it. It's such a delicious dish. And I'm not needing as many toothpicks as I thought. So, okay, there's one. And I'm gonna just give it another little roll in the flour, okay? Shake a little off, okay? And then I'm gonna carefully bring it over. I know there's gonna be a mess on the floor. I'm gonna bring it over to my heated fry pan and let it go, okay? Now, this one, look how little this is. This is gonna be an even bigger challenge. And it's okay to have small pieces of cordon bleu. It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, as long as you can get all the elements of the dish in there, the cheese, the ham, you're good, okay? So because that's so small, I'm not gonna put a whole piece in there. I'm gonna just put maybe a very small piece and save that for what else I need. Same way with the ham. I'm gonna, you know, do half of that and roll it in there. And it's probably gonna stick out and it might even leak, and that's not a big deal because as long as it's cooked thoroughly, and then you add, you know, this amazing sauce I'm gonna make to go on it, it's gonna be good, okay? So this is a very small little piece, maybe only 2 bites, and that's okay. You're using your chicken. And like I said, it's really unusual to be able to find, you know, the perfect cut of chicken after you thin it out. You know, make it thinner with the meat tenderizer, okay? So that's a small one. And that goes in, okay? Next, I'm gonna do another large one. And the other thing I like to do too is, besides the salt and pepper and everything, I'll have to wash all these off after, is I like to make sure I cut off any excess pieces of gristle or fat or anything, because who wants to bite into that, you know? So that's all set. Again, dip it into the egg wash. Again, it's just 1 egg and a couple tablespoons of milk. And then you put that in the flour, okay? Do it again, do it again. Shake it off a little, do it again, okay. So this one I'm gonna use a whole piece for because it's a larger piece, okay? And I'm gonna put it right here. And I'm gonna use a larger piece of ham too and save that smaller one for any piece. Chicken is smaller too, so I'll be able to use that. Don't need quite as much ham as we bought, but if that's okay. Won't go to waste for sure, okay? So this one, because it's kind of straggly on the ends, I'm gonna fold it up from that end because then it's gonna get to the point where, you know, it's more even and it's gonna hold together a lot better, okay? So that's that. So I'm gonna take just a couple toothpicks just to secure it a little, okay? And it is broken down at this end, so I need to secure that as well. So I'll go over here. Hopefully that'll work. I might need more toothpicks, but we'll see. Because if you can keep it from leaking out, that's the big thing, you know? And then I'm just gonna turn that again in the flour. And I've made this before, just, you know, dipping it in the egg wash and the flour and layering it in a chafing dish. I like it better rolled up. You get all the flavors in there together and it's really great. But you can do it that way and you're still gonna get the same good flavor, okay? So now, here is the last one, another small one. Again, don't wanna waste it. I cut up a lot of my chicken, I put it aside because tomorrow I'm making this amazing meatloaf. And it's meatloaf like you've never had. It's made with veal and pork. It has a mushroom gravy that is fantastic. But the next day, I've got a recipe for sweet and sour chicken that is to die for. And that's what I'm making the next day. So I took out the chicken. It was on sale this week for $1.99, which is a great price. And so, you know, we'll mix it up a little bit by having the meatloaf tomorrow and then have chicken again, you know, the next day. So we're not having chicken like 2 days in a row. So, which is totally fine. No big deal. Okay, I got this small piece of ham. And this one is probably the most challenging one because it is really a cut that is all over the place. But, you know, you just figure it out, you make it work, make sure it's secure in there and you're fine. So I'm putting probably more toothpicks than I have yet in these, okay? But just try, you know, to wrap it around, do whatever you have to do to keep it, you know, uniform, but also to keep the cheese and the ham inside, because you want that cheese to melt with the ham, which is what's really going to make it great, along with this amazing Parmesan Swiss cheese sauce that I'm going to make to go over it after it comes out of the oven. Because you only saute this in the pan. And see, this is a really challenging piece of chicken. And I'm gonna make it as good as I can, because it just didn't get very uniform, but I think it's gonna be okay. And the fact that you're putting the Parmesan Swiss cheese sauce on top of it is gonna, you know, even if some of the cheese, you know, oozes out or whatever, it's gonna still have all that great flavor, okay? So here goes this piece. Now I'm ready to wash my hands. Which are really, really messy. But you always want to wash your hands a lot when you're dealing with chicken. From the time you start, you know, pounding it to, you know, cutting off the tough parts or, you know, excess fat or skin. You always want to keep washing your hands because you can get salmonella easily if you don't, okay? So just keep that in mind. Wash your hands often in hot soapy water. That's the key. Super hot, super soapy water, okay? So I made some of my sides ahead of time because I didn't want to have to, you know, take any longer than necessary on the video, but I wanted you to see how I put the cordon bleu together. So I always, this is just me, but I just have to have, with my cordon bleu, I always have to have, guess what? Honey glazed carrots, John, again. And also whipped potatoes. So those are already warming. They'll be ready to go. And then I just need to take my fork, and you watch what a beautiful brown it has on this chicken. Right there, okay? You want it nice and brown. I've got my oven on 350 degrees. So once these are browned on all sides, it's going to go into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes to continue cooking while I make the incredible sauce that goes over this dish. As you've probably seen on Facebook, I make chicken cordon bleu often because we both love it. And, you know, we try to eat more white meat than we do red meat. And, you know, it does have some calories. Yeah, you're frying it in butter. You're frying it in oil. Olive oil is healthy for you. But the butter, yeah, it's got some calories. The cheese, the ham. But compared to red meat, it's better for you. And this is just such a tasty dish. And because I loved it so much, I always wanted to be able to make it the way that I liked it, you know, which is a nice sauce to go over it. And it's just, to me, there's nothing better than chicken cordon bleu with mashed potatoes, whipped potatoes rather. I just add some half and half or cream, and I add butter, obviously, salt and pepper, very simple. But it goes perfect with the sauce and honey glazed carrots. And all you gotta do is you cook your carrots, right? My carrots are done. They've been on for a while. And then you drain the water, and then you add a tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of honey, salt and pepper, honey glazed carrots. That's it. Super easy, okay? So while this is cooking, I'm gonna take a couple of minutes. I'm gonna turn this burner on. And all I have in here is a half a stick of butter, okay? Just a half a stick of butter. And we're going to do what I do so many times when I make dishes. We're making a roux. So I'm going to turn this on medium to medium high, right there, okay? For a minute. I've got my Parmigiano Reggiano cheese grated, that I grated from the cheese itself. And I'm also going to use the rest of my baby Swiss. I usually buy regular Swiss. They didn't have any. So, but these 3 pieces of baby Swiss are going to work perfectly with this sauce. And I'll tell you what, over that chicken cordon bleu, you can't even imagine how good it is. It's so delicious. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, not going to try to clean all of this right now because you guys don't need to see all that, but some of it. Because I'm just a neat cook. They always said that good cooks are not neat. They make a mess and blah, 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 and I think that's true, but I think I'm a pretty good cook, but I can't stand to have a mess laying around. So I have to clean this like almost of the time. Okay, so the butter is melting. Like I said, it's between medium. It's closer to high than it is medium. Okay, and that's a half a stick of butter right there. You want to keep an eye on your chicken because you don't want it to burn. But you do want it to brown. So that's how you do that. And I want these a little more brown. The other ones are doing really well. This one's doing well. But we still have time. We can leave it in there. Okay? So, as soon as this butter is completely melted, which is going to be very shortly, well, actually before that, okay, I am going to get my milk ready because we're going to need that for the cheese sauce. And like any roux, or even when I make my bechamel sauce, you have to heat up your milk so that your sauce does not get lumpy. So I'm going to put 1.5 cups because I don't think we'll need any more than that for those 2 small pieces and 2 large pieces of chicken cordon bleu. Okay? So just like when I made my bechamel sauce, this is going to go in the microwave for 2 minutes, and that's perfect. Okay? So now my butter is spattering and going all over the place. I'm going to take it off for a second, turn the heat down because I do not want this to brown. Okay? And it'll be fine. It sometimes happens because if you're in a hurry trying to get, everything together, you have to turn the heat up and then, you don't want it to burn, so you got to turn it down. So next, right, I'm going to take my flour and I'm going to put a big scoop of it in, 1 scoop right there. It's probably 3/4 of a cup because I don't want my butter to burn, and I got to get this thick roux, see? So once you add the butter, and you add the flour, remember, 1/2 stick and 1 scoop of your flour, you got the roux, okay? So in 48 seconds, my milk's going to be ready, which is going to be just the right temperature because I've timed it enough times to where I finally got it right so that this sauce comes out excellent every time. Every time. So now we're on low. 29, 29, 29. I'm going to turn my chicken rolls again and again and again on this one. This one really needs to be more round. That one's perfect, so we can put him over here, okay? I'm going to turn my burner back up to medium, and my milk is all heated. So I'm going to add my 1.5 cups of milk to this roux. And I'm telling you, if you heat that milk for 2 minutes, there's not going to be any lumps in this roux, in this sauce. It's going to be smooth, it's going to get thick, and it's gonna taste amazing, I'm telling you right now, okay? So I turned it up a little bit just to thicken it. That's perfectly thick enough. So I'm gonna put it way back on low. And it's actually a little bit too thick. So what I can do, now that it's already heated, I can add some cold milk to it because that's going to be fine. It's just in mixing the flour that you want to make sure you're mixing the roux together with the flour and the butter, that milk is heated. And now that it is, you can add your regular milk, and it's not going to be too much, okay? It's not going to make it lumpy. Okay, time to turn off the chicken because that is exactly where I want it to be and how I want it to look. Perfect. Perfect. So I can turn that off now. And I need my sauce a little bit thinner. So I need to add more milk. I love it when they put these things on top of the milk because oh, great struggle with getting it off. Oh my God. Look at this mess. No big deal, it cleans up. Okay, I'm gonna add probably 3/4 of a cup of milk to that. I made a little more sauce than I thought I made. So I had to thin it out a little bit. Because even though you want it to be thick and good, you don't want it to be that thick and, like that, okay? So, here we go. And I've turned my burner way down. Okay, still too thick. When that happens, you just keep adding that milk. And sometimes it happens, Just have to keep adding that milk. Even if you end up with more sauce than you need, you can save that sauce and you can freeze it, and you can use that bechamel sauce to make lasagna another time or something. It's just, it's going to be all done for you. Okay, that's pretty good. That's about where we want it to be. So, we're there. We're going to throw in the Swiss cheese. I got 3 slices of baby Swiss, and I've got about a 1/2 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese as well, okay? Turning that bad boy off. And then you just want to mix it in. Sophie is very interested in the milk I spilled on the floor. Girl, don't drink that milk, it's not good for your tummy. Okay. And it melts fairly quickly. And like I said, you can freeze this, and you can use it, if you want to make lasagna, or you can save it and you can make chicken cordon bleu again, or anything else, you might want a nice cheese sauce for. You could just put it over broccoli, and it's delicious. Sauce is so delicious, and it's really, that is like almost perfect. So I'm just going to add to that a little salt and pepper. Okay? Don't need too much salt because there's plenty of salt in the cheese. Pepper? Yeah, I love pepper. Never have enough of that. Okay? So then, you mix that all together, and you're just about done. Just want to keep it on low, on a small burner, even if you're on a large burner. Keep it on low. Because you do not want this to stick on the pan, because you don't want any kind of burning thing going on, okay? So I have a buttered casserole dish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my chicken cordon bleu in here, like so. Because that is done. Before I serve it, I'm going to remove the toothpicks because I don't want anybody getting that. And it's going to go into a 350-degree oven for probably 30 to 40 minutes. In my oven, it's probably going to be closer to 30 to continue cooking. And there it is. So, just to save time, what you want to do when that is done and when that comes out of the oven and you're ready to serve, you want to put your butter and your honey, again, 1 tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of honey after you drain these carrots. And you want to mash your potatoes and add half and half to them depending on how many you make. Just, mash them with butter, salt and pepper. And I like to whip mine, but I mean, you can certainly have them mashed because this sauce with the potatoes and the chicken, it's amazing. It's so, so good. You're gonna love it. And I have plenty, so I'll have plenty for some other dinner too. Okay, so that's it. That's it for tonight. I hope you guys try to make it. And tomorrow I am going to make my favorite meatloaf. I mean, we've all had meatloafs. We've had, most of us have had anyway, meatloafs with onions, green peppers, with a tomato sauce over the top or whatever. This meatloaf is made with veal and pork and has a delicious mushroom gravy that goes over it. It's really different, and it's really the meatloaf that I make the most because it's our favorite. Okay, so have a great night, have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, thanks for checking in. Bye.